Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Lucier, and welcome to our weekly Tongren session. We work with Tongren healing, which is a universal healing technique, which is very, very popular, used by thousands. And as I said, this is Tongren weekly healing session. And for myself, I've done Tongren for about 25 years and treating people what we call distance healing and Tongren therapy. So each week, people can actually put in their requests and receive a treatment themselves. So, as I say, I've done this on pretty much every continent in the world, and you can actually receive your own treatment typing into Facebook or on my webpage, anusawellness.com, or we have just become live on Instagram as well. So let's get right to it. And our first request, Nitika, for brain tumor after surgery in the right frontal lobe. And I'll repeat things that I've mentioned before because I like to include kind of a combination of approaches to really target what people need to get, because sometimes it takes more than one thing to get that real healing momentum going, especially like Tongren. So I'm glad that you all joined us. So Nitika, the remaining brain tumor after surgery on the right frontal lobe. And of course, we also have Happy Mama, which I'm so happy to see here, Chi for Perfect Blood. So those all deal with certain things. So Tongren is a distance healing, and we have one main focus, open a blockage of bioelectricity, which is basically the communication highway between the brain and a wound area, or a brain and deficiency area. So when we reestablish or recouple, as Dr. Wheatgrass would say, for the brain target area, we can actually unleash the abundance to heal and to recover and to regenerate. So blood flow to the brain. And we work on a 3-part process. We just had a masterclass of Tongren with 14 people from all over the world, as far as Romania, North America, Europe. So we teach 2 levels of Tongren, Be Your Own Healer and Be Your Own Healer Masterclass. So we initialize the body just like we do when we're starting to do exercise. We warm up. Our warm-up is doing oxygenation for the brain. And yes, I've heard from Esther and Drew and Catherine and the daughter of Esther, who is, congratulations to everyone, community support for her daughter who is pregnant. Congratulations. Blood flow to the brain and brain command points. So there are some points that are more effective than other points. So we really utilize these as a strategy. Instead of a general treatment, we do a 3-part process and we work on effective, highly effective points. Command points of the brain, because this works on the initialization points of the entire body, the central nervous system, the bioelectrical systems, and the hormone system, which are the biochemical command points, communication links from the brain to the entire body. So I'm presuming everyone can hear me and see me okay. We are right on track. And I just want to make sure everybody can see me. Esther, everyone, people, yep. So you're all doing great. So let's continue on, basically, to give everybody a tune-up. Oxygenating the brain. And if people are interested in learning more about the other mechanisms and tools and strategies for oxygenating the body, which is anti-disease, we do have a workshop focusing on the breath, hydration, and different things. Then we have command points of the brain stem. But for the brain, for Nitika, brain tumor after surgery in the right frontal lobe, let's work right on the right frontal lobe, GB13, right side. Let's nourish it with blood flow from the sky window. And one trick to get healing herbs to the brain across the blood-brain barrier is through inhalation of steam with essential oils. The best is frankincense in this case. So for her, all the points of the brain, right frontal lobe. And the great news is, I want everyone to hear this, she lost her vision due to the tumor and can now see shadows and is slowly improving. So the body has an amazing capability to rebuild, regenerate, and rewire. There was a great experiment where someone who was a sighted person, a person could see, they did for 30 days, they covered their eyes and they watched their brain. And guess what? The senses of the hands increased, the senses of the eyes went down. So the body compensated to utilize available resources, such as the sense of touch. When the sighted person removed the obstruction of the eyes, it all returned and balanced out. The brain can do amazing things. So let's work on the visual areas of the brain. And we'll also include Catherine. So blood flow to the brain. C3 for the eyes, ears, and nose. C3, blood flow, facial artery, carotid artery to the brain. An ouch point for the eyes. The Asher point for the eyes. So keep working on it. Keep taking eye bright, different kinds of herbal remedies for your eyes, nervines, which support the nerves to the eyes, all those things, and you will recover. You're already recovering. So keep up the good work. I really believe the frankincense inhalations will be one of the best things you can do to complete this process. Thank you for continuing to join us and getting your progress. And then the other main blood supply, the vertebral artery and the occipital artery, blood flow to the brain. And continuing for Catherine, the eyes, and GV17 for blood pressure for the eyes. And one of the things you can do, one of the things that improves anything in the body is intermittent fasting. It has been shown to increase stem cell production. Eyes, ears, nose, organs, all of those things. So that's a great tip for all of you for what we call intermittent fasting. Vertebral artery to the spinal artery. So let's work on the chi for perfect blood. So perfect blood. Let's start with the bones because that produces the blood. Those are the actual, that's the factory for our blood, red blood cells, our immune cells. And the bones is for B cells. The thymus is in general for T cells. But also the lymph, which is also a source of sometimes immune cells, but also lymph cells, which help to remove garbage from the bodies, working in the immune system itself. So GB789, T1, tailbone 1 to 4, and GB39. Anti-inflammation for the brain and oxygenation. Oxygen and hypoxia are the causes related to cancer. So that's why I thought it was important to do the workshop on oxygen and breathing. And believe it or not, one of the reasons a lot of us have impacted wisdom teeth is not because we've evolved away from it, it's because of our breathing through the mouth. It constricts and reduces the size of our jaw. That's one of the things we go over. And we'll see with some actual people that have a condensed, elongated jaw because they breathe through the mouth instead of the nose. And there are techniques to fix that. And that's one of the techniques that I want to give away for the people. T1 to 3, 4, 7, 8, anti-inflammation. We want to work for Les, who I think is in the area, and I need to go see him. And there you are. I was just thinking of you. Brilliant minds think alike. We are in Quincy. Hope we can see you. Yes. Les, I will see you. You are this close. I need to see you. So for the shingles, Epstein-Barr virus tinctures, but we'll also work on that for you as well. Perfect blood, bones, T1, cranial sacral fluid, GB789, tailbone 1 to 4, GB39, also for the bones. And also work on the spleen because sometimes the spleen gets a little challenged because it's taken up the work of malfunctioning bone marrow. So we have a few people here with leukemia, so we're going to start to support them. AML, CLL rather, and myeloma, also with the bone marrow. And next we have Jeff, tap for the tight jaws, neuropathy in the hands and legs. So immediately when I see your request, I think of microcirculation because in recent studies that I have just discovered, long-term COVID, they do testing and the lungs look okay. But there are more detailed tests where they can go on the microcirculation level, and they've noticed that as many as 50% of those microcirculation connections may have been impacted by COVID. So we again work on NAC and infrared light and Tongren to improve those areas. But let's work specifically on the nerves. So I always think of vitamin B12, things like PQQ, which are mitochondria medicine. So for the arms, brachial plexus down to the arms. Is anybody there on Instagram? And the neuropathy for the legs, lumbosacral plexus. Oxygen and inflammation, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for Jeff. Chronic fatigue, so T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And a very specific oxygen protocol, the phrenic nerve and the diaphragm. Phrenic nerve again and diaphragm. CV17 for the lungs and breathing, even for chronic breath, chronic fatigue. Jeff, good to see you with us. Special lung points, lung 1, lung 2, also for the breath. Oxygen. It's all about oxygen, which creates energy. To get oxygen, we need circulation. And it's in two parts, macrocirculation and microcirculation. We need to really focus on all of those things. Then as we continue from macrocirculation, microcirculation to the cell. So we work on circulation in the big picture, the smaller circulation. These are the delivery of oxygen, and then the efficiency of oxygen in the cell with the mitochondria and ATP production, which can be worked with through detoxing and through PQQ, quercetin, and very specific things like that as well as red light, which is good for microcirculation. So if you think of that chain of events, that's what we want to work on. We want to make sure we're thorough. Liver 3 and kidney 1. Let me write that number down. I'm going to give you a call tonight, Les. We are now in the same time zone. 814-769-6969. Okay. And SD, yes, let's also work. Blood clot in the leg. Okay, let's work on that as well. Blood flow to the brain. So we're going to work with ST, Les, and Kimby's. And really focus on blood clots, Epstein-Barr virus, seen here. Okay, thank you. 814-769-6969. Yep, I will call you tonight. Then Julia. Yep, we need to set up a time to talk, Julia. I just want to make sure that anything possible that I can think of to help you out, I want to do it. And we will get there. Okay. So let's work with Les, Kimby's, and Esty. Blood flow to the brain. Take a deep breath. Command points of the brain. Command points of the brain stem. So Instagram is lagging behind you guys on Facebook and on my website. What's up with Instagram? They've done 2 call outs so far. Did Elon Musk buy Instagram too? Nothing like having too much money. Imagine where $44 billion could have helped to feed the poor, water projects throughout the world in third world countries, to develop technologies that he's working on, but more technologies on solar and wind. $44 billion instead of buying Twitter. Confuses me. Imagine all the food you can buy with $44 billion. Can probably feed the poor of a single poor country for a year. Lately, I've been learning about these water devices. They're brilliant. They actually pull water from the air. And then you can even do it off grid by connecting them to solar batteries or wind turbines. So when I live in Belize, when I stay in Belize, the place I stay at, solar and wind off the grid. So your spouse said what, Estee? What was it they were relating to? Blood flow of the brain stem. We want improved appetite. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for the shingles. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for the detox. And T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 also for the blood clots. When I work the bone marrow. Yeah, imagine how many people you could feed with that money. Even half of it, 10% of it, $4 billion. Go feed people. Go bring people water. Build people's houses. Help the homeless. You didn't have to buy Twitter, please. You're not going to save the world by spending $44 billion buying Twitter. And by the way, it doesn't actually make any money, the company. You could buy about $100 billion Tongren dolls. That would be good. Vertebral artery to the spinal artery. So work on the liver for the shingles, the liver for the detox. And yes, detox, adrenals, and full healing of broken ribs and right foot, both are finally improving. Okay, keep building it with silica, selenium, magnesium oil, massage, light therapy for microcirculation to continue to feed the bones, resistance training, or at least heat. So I'm glad to hear, great news, finally improving. Keep up the good work. Don't be discouraged. By the way, everybody that's listening to me and hears me right now, your homework, your agreement is you can't give up. I don't give up on you. You can't give up on you either. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. L1, 2, 3, adrenal health. Also good to support appetite. T7 for the appetite. For everyone, especially for the improved appetite, the microbiome. T11, T12, L4, and L5. And overall, in general, for blood clotting. So circulation, GV17, to keep things moving and flowing correctly. And yes, let me know in the chats if you're interested in learning about breath retraining, which is using a simple device to change the oxygen carbon dioxide ratios, which increases oxygen in the body, which is anti-inflammation, which is anti-disease, anti-cancer. And we also work on advanced hydration oxygenation techniques. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, and 9 for the shingles. Microbiome, T11, T12, L4, L5. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. Yes, and I will call you as well, Drew. Drew, we will work on you as well. And hello, Faris. Nice to see you. Tap for your mom. Eyesight issues, guaranteed, absolutely. Pressure and discomfort in the chest, sometimes fast heartbeat, and shallow breathing. So you definitely would benefit from the workshop because we focus on deep medicinal breathing almost compared to shallow breathing, because when you breathe in a shallow way, you get less carbon dioxide. When you get less carbon dioxide, less oxygen is released into the body. It's just like what people do for hyperventilation. When you put the bag over your mouth and breathe into it, you're capturing carbon dioxide. And then you're rebreathing that carbon dioxide, so it will release oxygen into the body. Slower breathing compared to fast, shallow breathing is actually a therapy. It's called resistance breathing and breath retraining. So for Faris, your mom, let's work on the ouch point, the eyes right away. And let's see if we can wake up anybody from Instagram. Is there a way to do that? Can I do it again? Nope, but I can send rainbows, pictures all over the place. Okay. So now I'm going to have rainbows around me. That's crazy. How do I undo that? Eyes. Qigong for the eyes is an option. Aloe vera, medicinal grade aloe vera in the eyes for regeneration is an option. What do you call it? Eating at less amount of time. Your eating time is less hours. Your regeneration time is more. So the word has escaped me. So let's work on the eyes. C3 for the eyes. Intermittent fasting. That's the word I'm looking for. There is a refresh. But it's a general refresh. Let's see. I'm just pushing all kinds of buttons. And what does this button do on Instagram? Makes me look different. Okay, turn that off. Hey, let's play with the rainbows. Vertebral artery to the brain, so blood flow to the brain. Carotid artery, vertebral artery, occipital artery, and GV17 for the eyes and circulation and eye and blood pressure to the eyes. So stomach acid, apple cider vinegar. Apples themselves are great for stomach acid. Of course, there are pH managers. There's something called pH adjust, which helps to alkalize the gut. We don't want to reduce hydrochloric acid in the gut, but we want to work with balancing the pH of the gut. pH adjust has 3 carbonates, magnesium, potassium, and sodium, or bicarbonate. And hello, Jacqueline. I'm playing with all the buttons in Instagram, so we kind of trying to see what's going on here. We got some chi. They look like chi lights going all over the place, right? How do I clear the screen there? Need more lights. We're working on eyes for Faris in Croatia. See 1, 2, 3 for the eyes, ears, nose. Nice background. That's chi. Looks like chi, right? Let's see if we can get this going a little bit. And we will continue to work on hormone balancing for you, yes. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, anti-inflammation. And for Faris, discomfort in the chest, CV17. The long thoracic nerve, T1, T2. I'm sorry, lung 1, lung 2. Tachycardia, CV17, T5. T6, so T5 for the heart and the pericardium. Pericardium kind of manages the electricity of the actual lungs, of the heart rather. So I think we've seen enough of the chi. Whoops, there's something going on now. What is that? Whoops, something just put a sign on my head. No, stop. What is that? Gensel. Yep, what is that? What was that? That was about. The eyes also for the liver. And next we will be working with T9 right side for the liver and detoxing as well. L1, 2, 3 for the adrenals from before. GV17 for pressure in the chest. Lung 1, lung 2 for pressure in the chest. Fast heartbeat, T5. Shallow breathing. First thing to focus on is breathing through the nose. Second thing to focus on is longer exhales and inhales. A couple of quick tips for you. L1, 2, 3, L3 also for less prostate area. Lumbar 1 to 5, sacrum 1 to 5. And then for the stomach acid additionally, CV4. So CV17 for the chest, CV4 acid, stomach acid. And grounding to the leg, grounding to the feet, liver 3 and kidney 1. It's good to see everyone. Let me know how y'all doing. And if you're interested in the oxygen workshop coming up, oxygen medicine workshop. Oxygen is the core fundamental element of our existence. We have tools that we can manage it through our breath, through our hydration, and through our consciousness, and through Tongren. So did we work on Esther? If we did, we'll do it again. Blood flow to the brain. So a good way to lose belly fat. This is an interesting technique. Cold showers. It transforms white adipose tissue into brown, and it can help you to lose weight. So cold showers, as taught through Wim Hof, as we discuss also when we come up next weekend. Blood flow to the brain. Command points of the brain, command points of the brain stem. Vertebral artery to the spinal artery. So for belly fat metabolism, GV20 for the pituitary. The microbiome, more fiber, more hydration, less belly fat. To regenerate bone, you need silica, selenium, vitamin C. Silica, selenium, and C. So those three things. Clay can do a lot of that, vitamin C through your fresh fruits and vegetables. And then, of course, you must do resistance training. You got to put pressure on your bones to tell them to get stronger. Simple ways are through rebounding. So let's work on the microbiome. And Live It Fuller, you will be next, along with Gentle Legend. T11, T12, L4, L5. And for Esther, SI joint, ouch point, GB29, I'm sorry, GB30, 29 and 30, 29 and 30, tailbone, or sacrum 1 to 5, the SI joint, which is sacroiliac, which means the kind of the hinge between the sacrum and the hips. And sacrum 1 to 5 for the bladder. And we don't want to miss the ouch point for the healing of the feet and the ribs. So we went over some different things. So T1 to T12 for the ribs. And the healing of the foot directly, which we work with the bones. GB39. And the ouch point on the right foot. Generate bones, T1 for the bone marrow. GB789, tailbone 1 to 4 for the support of the bones and bone marrow. Granulosacral fluid. Connective tissue, EL9. And the right hip, so hip to hip, lumbosacral plexus and the right hip area. And for breathing, of course, the laser on CV17 is a good help also, ferrous. And Esther, the bladder and the tingling, even when raising your arm. So let's work on the brachial plexus for the arms for Esther. So let's work on Live It Fuller next. And we can play with the background a little bit again. How cool is that? That's chi. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, anti-inflammation. Microbiome, T11, T12, L4, L5. So let's begin to work on the gut. Jacqueline, but especially hormone balancing. So we're going to do that right now. A hormone balancing for everyone. So CV20 and 22, hypothalamus and the pituitary. T2 for the thymus, work on all areas. L2, the adrenals. L3 for female hormone balancing. Let's make sure we don't miss anything on the right hip for intrigued settler. So lumbosacral plexus, left hip, and then especially the right hip. Microbiome, T11, T12, L4, L5. Improved appetite, that would be more hydration, mineralization of foods, more exercise, more community events. So L3, so GV20, 22, L3 for livid fuller. Three-part process. The other one is CV4 for the thymus. I'm sorry, CV17 for the thymus. Also for hormone balancing. And especially CV4 for the hormone balancing and reproductive area. C4. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. So let's all send out our best wishes for Julia. Carol. I see Carol and Julia. Two people we want to work on right away for serious conditions. So there you go, Jacqueline. Thanks for joining us. Tap along and we will figure out something. I don't think I can try to work out an extra 4 hours of time. But I appreciate the opportunity to work with you on this. And most importantly, to share the information with you and your mom. So blood flow to the brain. High floaters. Who is this? This is Gentle Legend. Okay. Eye floaters work on the eyes for the ouch points. Itchy skin on the neck. That's probably the liver. So T9 right side. Reticulated papillomatosis. I think that word should be longer. Papillomatosis. But I don't want to make it sound insignificant. It's very important. Itchy skin on the neck. So the skin gets itchy because it's detoxing from somewhere and it comes out in the skin. So we're going to work on T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. C3 for the floaters. C1 to C1 to C7 for the entire neck, and T4 for the skin. So our next two people, we have a CML and an AML couple of people. So we're going to work on those and really focus on helping them out. Any itis or osis, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, reticulated, papillomatosis, L1, 2, and 3, especially L3 for the daughter of Esther, if we didn't work on that already, for nice, safe, strong pregnancy. Congratulations for the good news. And for gentle legend, ouch point, the eyes, C3 for the eyes, the ouch point of the neck and shoulder release points, and the third eye and the eye areas, along with blood support. Facial artery, carotid artery, and then we bring it down, liver 3 and kidney 1. Yes, blessings to Julia and Carol indeed, as well as you as well, Jim. And Varus is saying, I breathe through the nose. The shallow breathing is recent and due to the chest discomfort. Okay. And do you breathe through the nose at night? That could be part of the issue there. There are techniques you can use at night. We probably talked about it before. So let's work with Carol and Julia. Blood flow to the brain command points. So Carol, they're saying you had it 2 years and didn't know about it. I guess they didn't know about it either. Command points to the brain and brain stem. Vertebral artery to the spinal artery. So we really want to focus on bones and bone marrow for both of you. GB 789. Sphenoid bone area, the starting point for the craniosacral flow. GB 17. Cardiac respiratory vasculatory center. T1 for the bones and bone marrow. Manage blood counts. T7 for the spleen, overworking, that's why they get enlarged. Trying to do more work, taking up the work that the bone marrow itself can't do completely. Side effects of chemo pill, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Clay baths would be a great option for you. And for people with serious, say, cancers or different things or leukemias, I would suggest 1 to 2 months an aggressive round of the aloe vera juice. Just go for it. As much as 4 to 8 ounces a day for 1 to 2 months. And then get over that and then use it as a maintenance dose after that. T1 for the bone marrow. GB789, and tailbone. Tailbone 1 to 4 for both of you. And let's look at another button on Instagram. Never noticed these before. Once a geek, always a geek. Wow, that's crazy. Whoa, what's that about? I don't think we want to keep that one. We'll just stick with the simple one. And it has a sign. Nope, we don't want that one. Wow, there's so many effects. And how do I reverse this? There we go. Let's go back to the simple one. There we go. So enough playing with that. GB789, cranial sacral fluid, starting point. T1 for the bone marrow, main point. Glad to hear you home. I'm going to mention what it says here. Almost died in the ER. TIAs, which are temporary ischemic activity. Mini strokes, which are not uncommon. Home now. Healthy hemoglobin. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. T1 for the bones and the bone marrow. Sacrum 1 to 5. Tailbone 1 to 4. T1 for the bones for Julia. Blood count recovery. Excessive white blood count, which probably incomplete or not completely formed white blood count. And for both of you, let's do a specific thing for oxygenation and anti-cancer. Phrenic nerve in the sky window, both sides to CV17. Oxygenation and breathing. And let's work on the jaw and inflammation. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. C3, 4, 5, and 6 for the jaw. So really good things for the inflammation of the gums, of course, is coconut swishing, which is anti-inflammatory. Another one is oregano oil, which may be challenging at this point in time. If there is pain, you can use clove. But I would say coconut swishing would be your best option. Coconut oil pulling, it's also called. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. So for both, we work on the spleen, T7, left side, CV12 from the front side. TB13 left side and right side, and then grounding liver 3 and kidney 1. There we go. So one last round for everyone, including Jim for Parkinson's. So we focus on this for you, for Jim. I hope you were able to try the herbs Mucuna called velvet bean, vitamin B12 and B complex vitamins. Command points of the brain. Command points of the brain stem. So let's work right directly on the area of the Parkinson's substantia nigra part of the brain axis, GB789. Sensory cortex, motor cortex. C1, C2, GB13 for PTSD. So happy mama, good blood results today. Keep it going. That's what we want to hear. We want them to go another 50 years, good blood results. That'll be great. The other thing to consider for chest discomfort, Faris, is your structure and your posture. Sometimes the actual real estate of the lungs can be condensed from sitting too much and not opening up enough. I needed to do that for myself for yoga. So T1, T3, 4, 7, 8 for Parkinson's, but especially T11, T12, L4, L5 for Parkinson's. And the gut-brain axis, GB12, CV4. The communication and protein superhighway from the brain to the gut, sometimes going from the gut to the brain and clogging up the actual brain. So insulin resistance, more fiber, more hydration. And the pancreas, T8. Bienvenue. Merci beaucoup pour vous aussi. There are no goofy names here. All good stuff. Some great words I heard lately. Your name is Helpful Soul. How about Universal? I like that one. So we want to also work on the inguinal hernia. Stomach 30. We'll work on both sides. And one more, GB13 for PTSD. And for everyone, grounding. But stomach 36, everyone for energy and chronic fatigue, including Jeff and others. Grounding, liver 3, and kidney 1. We probably have between 30 and 50 people today. If you're interested in the oxygen workshop, let me know. It comes with the actual tools that you can use for helping your breathing and helping shortness of breath, tachycardia, reverse oxygen deficiencies and conditions such as cancers and inflammation and hypoxia. So it's so important. That's why I'm teaching it. It's just too important not to do. The tools are actually developed. Some of the tools are actually developed in Europe. She says, Je m'appelle Catherine. Ah, comment ça va? Je suis heureux à faire votre connaissance. And my accent is terrible. And grounding for everyone, liver 3 and kidney 1. Thank you very much. Helpful Soul, Jim Benson. Keep in touch. If there's anything else I can do more for you, uh, let me know. So we'll do some Qigong for everyone. My apologies for going over time. It's a little bit hard sometimes to keep it all within 1 hour. I just want to make sure everybody gets their turn. And clearing. This is entrainment. This frequency will be sentenced basically to remove chaos and entrain your consciousness and your frequencies to this one. And as Jim says, blessings to Julia and Carol. Thank you very much for that extra support for our community here. Thanks very much, everyone, for joining us. Hope to see you next week. If you have any questions in the meantime, we have workshops for cleansing. The Be Your Own Healer the oxygen workshop, first time to be presented, will be a week from this weekend. So if you want to join, it'd be great to learn some techniques, inexpensive, available techniques for improving your oxygen, your breathing, your water, different things. And I will also share all the breath work and breathing types of techniques that I know so that you can integrate them into your life as well. Thanks very much and have a great day.